and welcome to another week of our Mixed Motion. Just a few things that I want to start off by talking about today is an experience that I had last week or over the last couple of weeks. And that is, in last week's vlog, you saw that I was on a call with a potential new client that I was going to be doing a potential video shoot for on the 14th. So that would have been a week today, Tuesday. I had to bring on another videographer because the job was just too big for what they wanted for just one person. And what I did was I had a call with them last week to go through 3 separate quotes. And I had the call because what they wanted to do was talk a little bit more about how we could maybe make the quote a little leaner whilst also making the deliverables leaner. Now, I'm all open for being flexible, and I think that when it comes to quoting, it's like I said to you, I will always itemize everything. So how much a videographer is going to cost for the day, how much a second videographer is going to cost for the day, how much every deliverable is broken down, even down to how much production costs are, travel costs, and even if someone wants raw footage, how much that's going to be. So I'll always itemize those bills, so then my potential clients can come back to me and they can remove things, add things, make things leaner where we see fit. So the quotes were way out of budget, like I said on the video last week, but they were still interested in working with me because they liked my portfolio. They liked what I'd done in the past in terms of events. So they wanted to explore further. So we spoke about this, and I don't truly think they knew exactly what they wanted. They came to me with a brief, a very detailed brief initially, but then it became apparent to me on this call that really they didn't know what they wanted. They wanted some advice from me, which is fine. I think that whenever I'm taking on a new client, I like to advise wherever I can. They look at me as the professional. So any deliverables that I think we can change, make leaner or amalgamate, then I'll let them know, because I'm not here to rip them off. I'm here to try and help them out, do a good job for the budget that they are offering. Now, they came to me, they wanted long form content in the form of like a Dragon's Den style thing, because they were going to have like a panel of like investors that were going to invest in games that people were presenting. So instead of doing that and just that as an episode, what we decided was we were going to have these long form as just a general recap of the entire event. So I decided, okay, well, it's going to be as long as what we originally thought it would be, except now rather than just being the Dragon's Den style video, it's now going to be a recap of the entire event. So it will include some of that. It'll include some of the vlogging stuff, things like that. So I basically quoted, because originally on the first day, the option A, if you remember last week, they only wanted us from 9 till 3. Now they were coming to us and saying, okay, well, could we do 10 till say 7 at night, which falls slightly outside of my day, but I'm happy to do it. I'm down there, let's get what we need to get. So I was happy to do that. In the end, rather than being like long forms, short form recaps, and then sizzle reel, they just decided they wanted 1 long form recap and 2 short form recaps of like 20 seconds. So I re-quoted for that. Obviously, still we're going to need 2 videographers for this. So I re-quoted for it. The quote now came to 3,100. And I'll give you a breakdown. Still 2 videographers. Same again, full day, £600. Second videographer, £700. So I know my day rate, but their day rate might be different, which is why it is. The editing, so now we've got 1 long form event recap episode rather than the Dragon's Den style thing that we spoke about. Short form recap, clips, 2 of, 20 seconds, and then all raw footage for the event, because they do want to use extra footage for edits in the future, and they might approach me for post-production in the future. And then travel expenses, 300. So all the same really is what we charged before, but now we're amalgamating some of the deliverables, and that now comes to a grand total of 3,100. So the quote is leaner. The deliverables are leaner. So I sent the quote across to them last week. and thought I'd give them some time to go through everything and decide what it is that they really want, whether I'm the right supplier for them, and so on. But I followed up back end of last week, and then a follow-up again early this week. So 2 follow-ups. I think it's important to follow up, certainly if there's a deadline looming or the shoot date is looming. Definitely follow up. Don't wait for them to get in touch with you. Now, one thing that I think is, if people are dragging their heels getting back to you, certainly when the shoot date is less than a week away now, they have probably gone with someone else. But, of course, while I've still got skin in the game, I'm going to keep contacting them. I got a few messages back delaying things, saying that they were trying to sync and figure out some things. And then I got an email yesterday. Hey Ash, apologies for the delay in getting back to you. We've decided to move forward with another supplier for this particular event. Although we all agreed your style and deliverables would undoubtedly have been exceptional, the decision had to be made purely around the budget this time. With your permission, we'd like to stay in touch and approach you again when we run this event in the future, allowing us to meet your set rate without compromise. We all appreciate the time and effort you took to speak with us and prepare the quote, and we look forward to hopefully doing something together again in the near future. So it's a very honest email. I kind of knew anyway that this wasn't going to happen just because of how close we were getting to the shoot date, but it's nice to have the confirmation. It was a nice message. There may be a chance that we work together again in the future. I sent a message back. Everything's fine, obviously. Not every client is going to be your client. Thanks for getting back to me. I totally understand and wish you the best of luck with it all. Absolutely feel free to reach out to me again in the future, whether that be for collaboration or if you have any questions / seek any advice, I'd be happy to help. Have a great day. It's like I said, not everybody is going to be your client. I think it's kind of a tough pill to swallow sometimes when you go through so much legwork, sending quotes and things like that, and then you don't get the job. But that's just the aim of the game. That is just how it goes. But there is one thing that I would love to know. When things like this happen and someone goes with another supplier, I would love to know what other people are offering. And for example, in this circumstance, when I said we definitely need 2 videographers for that day, are other people suggesting that they need 2 videographers? Because in my head, we need a 4-camera setup for everything. Based on the schedule that they gave me, there is no way that they're going to get everything that they need without 2 videographers at least. So either someone has still suggested they want 2 videographers and the prices are lower. Like I said, I've had to hire out externally, so I have to adhere to whatever their day rate is. Someone else's day rate might be smaller. Maybe people are doing jobs cheaper because they want to get the job. Quite honestly though, I struggle to compromise on that. If now at this stage, I have a portfolio that people like the look of, I've got experience in different environments and different shoots. So I'm not going to compromise just because I want the job necessarily. I think there's definitely some room for movement and flexibility, but I'm not going to do something cheaper just because I'm scared I'm going to lose the job. So I'm heading into London today because I have a shoot in 2 days, but I'm going to stay at a friend's, catch up with some people while I'm there. Just packing my bag now. I'm thinking of taking a real minimal setup because the shoot's like 2 hours. It's at a Pilates studio in Shoreditch for an existing client of mine, Maya Kine. I work with them probably every 3 months-ish. But yeah, it's just a introduction into their product for the Pilates studio. So it's like 2 hours. I'm thinking I'll take one of my cameras. Well, I'm going to take both cameras. I always like to take both camera bodies just as a backup. I'm just going to take one lens here, the 24-70, because as I always say, it's versatile. And then I think I'm actually going to take the gimbal, which I don't use that much. Charged everything last night battery-wise. I'm not taking my small rig battery. That's usually if I have like a bigger rig. Yeah, I'm not going to bother taking this, just with it being 2 hours. I've got like 5 single batteries. I'm sure they'll suffice. Yeah, I'm not going to take my monitor, nothing like that. I'm just going to go old school with the screen on the camera. And just see how it feels having a minimal setup. I've got to carry this stuff into London, so I don't want to be taking too much. So just packing this stuff into my bag now. But I'll keep you guys updated, obviously, as to what goes on the shoot. I'm sure I can record some things and show you some behind the scenes. Just taking myself out to a cafe this afternoon, just to be in a different environment. I think it's important to, for me at least, be in a different environment every now and then. I get bored of the same four walls, so just in this cafe, plus there's AC. And London is hot at the minute, so happy to be in here for a while, as long as my laptop battery lasts, because I don't have my charger. But just doing a few bits of admin, replying to some messages. And I wanted to give some transparency on a message I received a couple of weeks ago. The message that I got was via text, and it was from actually, the lead had come from a previous client that I'd worked for, which is great because then you know you've done a good job for them. He'd given my number to someone else who reached out to me, and I want to take you through exactly how the conversation went. A new potential client reaches out to me and says, "Hi Ash, client I worked with, gave me your number. I'm a consultant dermatologist and looking to work with a videographer to produce social media content. Perhaps ad hoc content days to start with a view of 10 to 20 videos to be created and edited by you and then sent to me so I can post." They then went on to say, "Would you be interested in content planning as well, on what would perform best?" So I replied, "Hi, thanks for reaching out and lovely to meet you. Really appreciate my client passing on the details. That sounds like a great fit. I can help with filming and editing, and I'm also offering content planning as a part of my service now. I'm still building on that side of things, but I work with clients to map topics and formats and think through what trends to perform best on each platform. As we see results, we can refine or repurpose content depending on what platforms work best." And then I go on to talk about 1 or 2 content days to create a batch of 10 to 20 videos. Sounds like a sensible place to start. I'd love to learn more about what we're hoping to achieve. It would be great to get a call in and can talk through everything. So I kept it on a level. I kept it pretty surface level. I didn't go into any details as such. I basically just said, I can do this. Let's get a call in. They see it, because it's on WhatsApp, so I can see that they've seen it. They see it, no reply. And that was on the Thursday. I left it to the Monday. I then sent a follow-up. "I hope you had a good weekend. Just wanted to check in and see whether you'd still like to explore the above support. Happy to answer any questions." They see the message, once again, no reply. Friday, so 4 days later, I follow up one last time. "I hope you're well. It seems this might not be the right time for you after all. I will leave it with you. And if you want to pick this up again in the future, please don't hesitate to reach out." So I've left the ball in their court. They see the message, no reply. So they've reached out to me, seen every message and ignored every message. I can't make sense of what's going on in this world, seriously. I think people want to feel like they're progressing with their goals, so they send a message. But really, it's not a priority of theirs. So what they actually do is waste both their time and my time. Now, the only thing I can do is let them know that I'm here if they need me. But the thing is, at this stage, I get quite excited by messages like that coming through, certainly because I think to myself, well, I've done a good job for my other client who's now recommended me, and it's more work. So that excites me. And then nothing. Hit me up and let me know I'm not the only one that goes through this. I think when you're in this position where you're chasing work, chasing clients, it's so annoying that no one can ever just be straight to the point. No one can ever just be transparent. What happened to a world where, hey, I want this, I'm going to reach out to a professional to do it for me, and then we're going to have an agreement, and then they're going to come and do the job. It's almost like someone's dangling a carrot. I see that, and then I've still got it. It's like they still want to be chased. Like it's bizarre. But anyway, onwards and upwards. I've left the ball in their court, like I said. But let me know if anyone else out there has these issues and how you deal with them, because all I do is moan about it on this vlog. Okay, so it's Friday morning, just heading down to my shoot now at the Pilates studio in Shoreditch. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm working with an existing client of mine, Myokine. They're doing a bit of an open day at one of the Pilates studios here in Shoreditch. So I'm gonna get some content, do a little recap for them and just catch what I can get. So let's see what happens. Yo, yo. How's it going, man?
Good to see you, pal.
Yeah, good to see you, mate, yeah. How you doing?
Right.
Yeah, we met loads of times. How you doing? You good? Good to see you too. Okay, so if you just step back again, that's it. So go to where the edge is there. Yeah. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do one where you're taking it out of the box and then you're spraying it as well, right? So when you're ready, 3, 2, 1, go. So remember to look that way as well. Yeah, awesome. Okay. Okay, that is the shoot done this morning. Quick one there. Only 2 hours? 2 hours. Did some shots in the studio itself during the class. They put 3 bottles of Myokine and socks on the beds, on the Pilates beds. Do you even call them beds? Beds. No, we definitely don't. I'm not a Pilates goer, you can tell. And the owner was trying to get me to come to her class. Quite honestly, I don't want to embarrass myself. My mobility is shit. So maybe I should go. But no, today was just filming. Sat in a cafe now, gonna get some lunch. But while I'm doing that, obviously we are uploading all of the footage because as usual, I don't like to keep it on a memory card. Let's duplicate that thing so I don't lose it. So duplicating that straight away. I might even start the edit today. It's just a quick recap that I need to get done. So obviously, sooner we get that done after the event, the better. And yeah, gonna be here for this afternoon. Got a good setup going on. And then I'll be heading back home this evening.